Many of us met Pat for the first time when he transferred over from French immersion school across the field there. I was about grade 7, I think, grade 7, there we go. Pat and I were immediately good friends. I mean, here was a guy who was louder than me, more argumentative than me, and at least as offensive as me. So simply by proxy, I became a model student. Grades increased and attentions decreased, but I remember back, we had a teacher in elementary school. He used to refer to Patrick as the legal beagle, which in retrospect, I think was teacher speak for asshole. But no, Pat and I have been good friends kind of through all these years, quite a long time. Grew up playing sports together, played 3A hockey together. A3 hockey together for a lot of years, right or wrong. I assume it's pretty much the same thing. Countless cabin adventures, house parties. We competed for the worst driving record. That's got a little bit of a lead on me. It's got a little bit of a lead on me there, but some alcohol-fueled debates. Gosh, what else here? Crashing cars and boats and all that sort of stuff. Regular teenage stuff, really. Pat had specifically asked me this evening to refrain from mentioning any of his past girlfriends, so sadly that's going to cut things short by a good 4 seconds. I thought it was good to respect his wishes, so we'll just forgo that one. Now, none of you will know this, but I've actually congratulated Pat prior to now. I was saying to him, good job, Pat. This is you're going to remember this. You're going to look back on this weekend as really one of the best things, best times, happiest times of your life. Which I thought were fitting words after a fantastic stag weekend in Montreal. That was epic. That was a few weeks ago now, Jill. Things are a little bit foggy, but I'd like to thank everybody that was able to make it down for that. It really speaks to the character of an individual like Pat. How much people love him and respect him, that we were able to get 18 people to come all the way down to celebrate such an important occasion in his life. Why else would a guy want to go all the way to Montreal, right? But Jill, what happens on tour stays on tour, but I can assure you that Pat's conscience is clear. There's absolutely no way that he remembers a single thing from that weekend of Pat. So. Now, I didn't really ever know Jill very well. Like Pat, I met Jill in early university. I believe it was at one of the infamous Pat's parents aren't home pool parties. But didn't really start to know Jill until Pat had reacquainted with her back in 2016. And from what I understand, it was like the courting process was pretty magical. Somewhat akin to Sleepless in Seattle, if any of you have seen that movie. Now, so Pat was communicating with her, and that's where the similarities end. But he was communicating with her by social media, and I guess he had ran into her at some Canada Day event. Ran into her, like stalking her, but ran into her at a Canada Day event, and apparently Jill had consumed maybe, 1 or 10 drinks. And so Pat had asked her at that time if they could meet up thereafter. Now, Jill's recollection following that day, Jill's recollection was understandably a little bit uncertain of the discussion, but she had reluctantly agreed to go on a date with Patrick. So here we go. So date 1, Patrick and Jill at Barley Brothers, from what I understand. Subsequently joined by Jill's beer club friends over here. I can only assume to vet, there they are. I can only assume to vet Patrick and really ensure Jill's safety, which was probably the responsible choice. Date 2, I think at that time they had figured out that they had some things in common. You know, went and shot a round of golf at the canoe club. You know, which I assume Pat got a card for himself and made Jill carry her own clubs. Where are we here? And then to seal the deal, you sly dog, date 3, you know, Pat invites Jill to meet him at the St. Norbert Hotel Bar, where I'm sure by the time she showed up, he was half blind, and really the rest is history. So, now, I knew all I needed to know about Jill right from the get-go. You know, as a close friend of Patrick's, you know, there were some red flags. Jill was born in Saskatchewan. Went to CJS. But most concerning to some of us, you know, she seemed to be genuinely interested in Patrick. But, you know, on the other hand, she was female, a very attractive female at that. She also seemed to share many of his interests, you know, socializing with close friends and traveling and snowboarding, a love of craft beer has been mentioned, you know, sports, excessively trolling social media. But above all, like a love and commitment to friends and family. She also helped bring Bachelor Patrick into the real world. You know, she taught Pat that a work day actually starts before 10 in the morning. That taking Sundays off to watch NFL football for the rest of his life would likely impact his relationship status on Facebook. She even had her dog taking Patrick for walks. But I think the most important thing that I noticed about Jill was that Patrick liked her. Very emotional. And that like has since blossomed into a mutual love and respect. You know, they've since started a beautiful family, a dog, completely dog, and a beautiful daughter, Adeline, which I really haven't had the opportunity to spend as much time with and visit as I'd like, so I got 2 little rugrats of my own. And it has been mentioned, Jill and Patrick have recently bought a lot, you know, that I've been giving them a hand clearing some trees on. You know, it sounds like this new house is going to be a lot of DIY work, though, because, you know, from what Pat tells me, him and Jill are going to be banging and screwing at every opportunity. But in all seriousness, you guys are a fantastic, unique, perfectly matched couple. You're both particular about how things should be. Despite the fact that you often disagree, I think you guys balance each other well. You push each other, support each other, but you also keep each other grounded. You care for each other and your beautiful daughter. So I wish you nothing but the best for the future. I hope all your dreams come true and that you enjoy a healthy, long, and happy life together. Patrick and Jill, thank you for giving me this opportunity to be a part of such an important day in your lives. And on behalf of everyone here, I'd like to thank you all for sharing thank you guys for sharing such a wonderful occasion with us. Now it gives me the greatest of pleasures to invite you all to stand, please, and raise a glass. To Jillian and Patrick, the new happy couple, Mr. and Mrs. MacArthur, everyone.
Joy.
else in it. Before we get started, some minor housekeeping to take care of. Emergency exits, they're around back there, I think. Generally, probably just follow the same way you came in. Maybe take the stairs, probably better. Bathrooms, Patrick, are over in that direction. This is the Fort Garry Hotel, like my cabin and Dean's cabin and countless other places. A corner or a window is not acceptable. Has everyone found the bar yet? I assume so. Excellent. Excellent. The bar will remain open, as has been mentioned, through dinner and speeches, so no need to stockpile. Pause for applause. Please don't drink and drive. Goes without saying, there's a lot of options, everyone, so grab a ride with a friend, grab a ride with a stranger, take a cab, or if you wait long enough, you could probably take Uber. In addition to the booze bar, there's also going to be a candy bar to appeal with those with a fat tooth. If you didn't sign the guest list at the front, please do so before indulging too much. The wood sign, sorry. So I think it's still out there. Is it out there, Patrick? Yes, it is. Gillian has confirmed. I'm not done. Okay? Now, lots of time to talk. It's my turn. Don't clink your glasses this evening. Jill and Pat have requested that a randomly selected Trivial Pursuit question be successfully answered. So I guess how we'll do this is maybe to get my attention, just clink your glass or something, or maybe raise a hand or come see me. There we go. No, we're not doing that now. Phones, please turn your phones to silent. I would imagine all of you already have, but if you haven't, just a reminder. As dinner's rolling out, we're going to begin a few toasts with a few speeches and toasts from the parents. We'll take a break as you guys eat, and then have a few speeches at the end of dinner before the first dance. And then after that, it's clear sailing. Oh, sorry, I almost forgot there. I'd like to take a quick moment and read a few messages from some of the guests that weren't able to be here this evening. So just give me a second here. For the record, I haven't read any of these yet, so I'm not sure if they're appropriate. Dear Patrick, we're sorry we couldn't be there today to celebrate with you. We'll miss your constant visits. It's truly impossible to replace a customer as loyal as you. Best of luck. Love the ladies at the Swedish Touch Massage Parlor. Sorry, I'm not saying that. They're calling more wrong sort there we go. Dear Jill, I hope the fact that you are now married will not change things between us. I love all the time we spend together, the way you rub me, put your hands through my hair and give me kisses. Franklin. You'll always have my heart. Love, Franklin. You ruined it, Jill. You ruined it. Dinner will be out shortly, but before we get started, there's a few people I'd like to thank on behalf of the newlyweds. Depending upon how the pictures turn out, the photographer, Brandy McKay, Brandy, so thank you. Our live, and Kiana, I'm so sorry, and Kiana, thank you guys. On our live entertainment this evening, and good friends of Paul MacArthur and even Patrick MacArthur, a band called Change Up. The bar staff for all their hard work thus far and hard work to come. Vanessa and Tyler are their names, so good luck. The out-of-town guests who traveled all this way for a free meal, thank you. And of course the parents and the family of the newlyweds for their love and support, which has really helped make this possible. So thank you guys. Now, while dinner is being served, to give a toast and a speech to the newlyweds, I'd like to introduce parents of the bride, Marjorie and Bill Summers.
Thank everybody for coming up tonight. Special thanks to... Should I? Right into the mic like this? Okay. We have the pleasure of making the first speech tonight, and we are, I guess, the warm-up act for all the other speeches to follow us. Today we are the proudest parents in the world, seeing our Jill looking so happy tonight. We want to formally welcome Patrick into the family. It's kind of fun to think back to all the mystery and intrigue about this new guy that was hanging around 2.5 years ago. We realized, I'm sure you heard during the wedding ceremony, we realized Patrick was a keeper when he joined Jill in Thailand for a holiday and ended up spending a week in her hospital bed while she recovered from dengue fever. We'll all be grateful for her care, his care and comfort while she was there. But I think anyone who can get Jill watching NFL games, enjoying fishing, and installing a siding must be pretty special. Last year when Jill said to me, "Dad, Patrick will look after my income tax returns from now on," I figured that was the end of my responsibility. But with that, when Patrick built a fence around the front yard to allow Franklin room to roam, was another example of his commitment to Jill and to Franklin. Obviously, we're so thrilled with our granddaughter Adeline and the great parents that you both are. But although we don't think you need any advice, Patrick, we're going to give you some anyway. 2 things are necessary to keep your wife happy. First, let her think she's having her own way. Second, let her have it. We're ready to raise our glass and toast to the bride and the groom.